Are you curious about which U.S. states are currently the riskiest to live in? From soaring crime rates to cities struggling with violence, today we're breaking down the top 10 most dangerous states in America. These aren't just cold statistics. These are real communities facing daily battles with violent crime, theft, and deep-rooted social challenges. And trust me, a few states on this list may shock you. Welcome to Nation Peek, the channel where we uncover America's most surprising and eye-opening realities. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss one of our deep dive rankings. And if you find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. It really helps us grow and bring you more insights. Now let's get into the countdown and reveal which states top the list as the most dangerous, and why safety has become such a serious issue in these places. Number 10. Oklahoma. Oklahoma might not be the first place that comes to mind when you think of danger, but it regularly lands on lists like this for a reason. Behind the state's trademark hospitality, wide-open plains, and tight-knit communities, there's a persistent crime problem, especially in its biggest metro areas. Cities such as Tulsa and Oklahoma City routinely post violent crime rates above the national average, with aggravated assaults and robberies driving much of the numbers. While many rural towns feel quieter and safer, the intensity of crime in these urban pockets lifts the statewide rate and keeps safety concerns front and center for residents and visitors alike. What's fueling it? A mix of socioeconomic strain and drug trafficking corridors. Oklahoma's poverty rate sits above the U.S. average, and neighborhoods under economic pressure tend to see elevated levels of property crime, theft, and violent incidents. Add in the state's position at a crossroads for narcotics routes, and you get spillover effects like gang activity, drug-related violence, and trafficking offenses that don't stop at city limits. Smaller towns aren't immune. Burglary and vehicle theft remain common enough to stretch local law enforcement thin. That said, it's not a single statewide story. Many Oklahoma communities remain safe and stable. The problems are highly concentrated, often block by block. In response, agencies are doubling down on community policing, drug intervention efforts, and economic development to create longer-term change. Progress is uneven, and the data still keeps Oklahoma in the conversation when we rank America's most dangerous states. With Oklahoma setting the tone, our countdown moves southwest to a sun-drenched state where rapid growth and border dynamics collide with rising crime stats. Number 9. Arizona. Arizona is often pictured as a land of endless sunshine, breathtaking desert scenery, and retirement-friendly communities. But underneath its postcard-perfect image, the state faces a troubling reality: crime rates that keep it ranked among the more dangerous places in America. In cities like Phoenix and Tucson, violent crime rates run well above the national average. Aggravated assaults, robberies, and even homicides are reported at levels that put serious strain on law enforcement and communities alike. Beyond violent crime, Arizona also battles one of the nation's higher property crime rates, with burglary, car theft, and break-ins being a regular concern for residents. Several factors play into these statistics. Arizona's location along the U.S.-Mexico border makes it a key route for smuggling and drug trafficking, fueling gang-related violence and property crime. Rapid population growth in metro hubs like Phoenix adds another layer of stress, stretching police forces and public services thin. While many suburban and rural areas experience far lower crime levels, it's the big cities that heavily drive the state's overall numbers upward. Despite these issues, Arizona continues to draw new residents thanks to its warm climate, job opportunities, and relatively affordable cost of living. Law enforcement agencies and local leaders are responding with community outreach programs, drug prevention strategies, and crime reduction initiatives aimed at tackling root causes. But for many families, daily safety still depends heavily on the neighborhood they live in. And while Arizona's crime rates stand out, the situation grows even more alarming as we move eastward, where one southern state with charming beaches and historic towns hides a much darker reputation. Number 8. South Carolina. South Carolina is often admired for its coastal beauty, warm climate, and historic towns that attract millions of tourists each year. But behind the charm of Charleston's cobblestone streets and the beaches of Myrtle Beach lies a stark reality. The state consistently ranks among the most dangerous in America. Violent crime here sits well above the national average. Aggravated assaults, robberies, and homicides are reported at alarming levels, with cities like Columbia, Charleston, and North Charleston frequently topping crime charts. On top of that, gun violence has become a growing threat, with shootings regularly making headlines and leaving families on edge. One of South Carolina's most persistent issues is its high rate of domestic violence. For years, the state has ranked near the top in intimate partner violence, placing enormous strain not just on law enforcement, but also on families and healthcare systems. Add to this the state's economic challenges, pockets of deep poverty, underfunded schools, and limited access to good-paying jobs, and you see why crime continues to thrive in many areas. Where poverty is concentrated, both violent and property crimes are far more likely. Property crime itself is a huge concern. Burglary, auto theft, and larceny affect both residents and visitors, with tourists in hotspots like Myrtle Beach often targeted by thieves. While smaller towns and suburban communities may feel safer, the heavy concentration of crime in South Carolina's metro areas pushes the state's overall ranking upward. State and local leaders are trying to fight back through community policing programs, youth outreach, and anti-violence initiatives. But progress has been slow, and for many neighborhoods, crime remains a daily struggle. If you think South Carolina's numbers are alarming, just wait. Our next state may surprise you even more, because despite its smaller population, it struggles with some of the highest violent crime rates in the country. Number 7. Arkansas, the natural state, is admired for its mountains and rivers, but it also reports some of the nation's highest violent crime rates relative to its size. Cities like Little Rock, Pine Bluff, and West Memphis see high levels of assaults, robberies, and shootings. Little Rock has even gained a reputation as one of the most violent small cities in America, where gang activity and gun crime are constant problems. Poverty plays a major role here. Arkansas has one of the highest poverty rates in the country, and with limited access to education and good jobs, many communities face hardship that fuels both violent and property crime. Domestic violence is also alarmingly high, and substance abuse, especially meth and opioids, makes things worse across both rural and urban areas. Property crime is widespread too. Burglaries, car thefts, and break-ins are frequent, particularly in cities and tourist-heavy areas. While many smaller towns remain relatively safe, the concentration of crime in metro hubs keeps Arkansas ranked as one of the most dangerous states. State officials have tried to counter it with gang prevention efforts and stronger drug enforcement, but progress is slow. Number 6. Louisiana is world famous for Mardi Gras, Cajun culture, and music, but it also has one of the highest murder rates in America. New Orleans and Baton Rouge consistently rank among the nation's most dangerous cities, with shootings, robberies, and gang-related violence all too common. The state's struggles are deeply tied to poverty, inequality, and lack of opportunity. Louisiana ranks near the bottom nationally in income and education, and when combined with widespread drug trafficking and firearm access, it creates conditions where violent crime thrives. The state also has one of the highest incarceration rates, showing both the severity of crime and its justice system's heavy-handed approach. Beyond violent crime, property offenses are widespread. Car thefts, burglaries, and scams, especially in tourist hotspots like the French Quarter, impact both locals and millions of visitors each year. While leaders are investing in community programs and policing reforms, the challenges remain daunting, and Louisiana continues to rank near the top of dangerous states. Number 5. Alaska. Alaska may be known for its wilderness and adventurous spirit, but it also has some of the highest violent crime rates in the U.S. Despite its small population, cities like Anchorage and Fairbanks report extremely high levels of assaults, domestic violence, and sexual crimes. The state's unique geography makes things harder. Many rural communities are so remote they're only reachable by plane or boat, leaving them with limited law enforcement or social services. Alcohol abuse, addiction, and mental health struggles fuel violence in these areas. Alaska also ranks among the worst states for crimes against women, with Native Alaskan women disproportionately affected. Property crime is another issue. Burglaries, car break-ins, and theft are frequent in urban centers, worsened by harsh winters and economic struggles. Efforts are underway to expand social programs and boost law enforcement in remote towns, but until deeper problems like isolation and addiction are addressed, Alaska will keep its place on this list. Number 4. Tennessee. Tennessee is celebrated for its music, Nashville's country scene, and Memphis's blues and rock history, but it also ranks high for violent crime. Memphis, in particular, is among the most dangerous cities in America, with frequent homicides and gang-related violence. Even Nashville has seen rising levels of assaults and robberies in recent years. The drivers are poverty, inequality, and easy access to firearms. Memphis has long struggled with unemployment and underfunded schools, creating conditions where crime thrives. Gun violence is a major factor in the state's homicide rate. Property crime is another concern, with car thefts, burglaries, and larceny common in cities. Authorities have introduced crime prevention programs and youth outreach initiatives, but results are slow. Despite its cultural vibrancy and natural beauty, Tennessee's persistent crime issues keep it on the list of America's most dangerous states. Number 3. New Mexico. New Mexico's desert landscapes and cultural heritage attract millions of visitors, but the state also carries some of the highest violent crime rates in the country. Albuquerque is often spotlighted as one of the most crime-ridden cities in America, with aggravated assaults, robberies, and homicides far above average. The roots lie in poverty, limited education, and unemployment. These struggles fuel drug abuse, domestic violence, and gang activity. Albuquerque also faces some of the nation's highest property crime rates, with car theft and burglary leaving residents feeling unsafe. Geography adds to the challenge. Remote towns make law enforcement response difficult. State leaders are working on community policing and rehabilitation programs, but progress is slow and New Mexico remains near the top of dangerous state rankings. Number 2. Nevada. Nevada, best known for Las Vegas, attracts millions of tourists each year, but crime comes with it. Las Vegas reports high levels of homicides, assaults, and robberies, while Reno faces similar problems on a smaller scale. The non-stop nightlife, alcohol, and drug activity often escalate into violence. Property crime is a constant issue, with Las Vegas ranking among the nation's worst for burglaries, auto thefts, and scams. Tourists are frequent targets of pickpocketing, fraud, and robbery. At the same time, Nevada faces deep socioeconomic struggles, including poverty, homelessness, and unstable communities, which add fuel to crime rates. While policing and community programs have made progress, the state's transient population and entertainment-driven economy continue to make Nevada one of the most dangerous states. Number 1. Michigan. Michigan, once the pride of American industry, now struggles with violent crime and poverty. Detroit is at the center, with homicides, assaults, and robberies keeping it ranked among the most dangerous cities in the nation. Flint and Saginaw also add to Michigan's troubled reputation. The decline of the auto industry left behind unemployment, population loss, and abandoned neighborhoods. Poverty and inequality allowed gangs, drugs, and gun violence to thrive. Property crime is also high, with car theft and burglaries widespread in urban areas. Not all parts of Michigan are unsafe. Cities like Ann Arbor and Grand Rapids are much safer, but the problems in Detroit heavily influence the state's ranking. Revitalization projects and policing efforts are helping, but until deeper issues of poverty and inequality are addressed, Michigan will likely remain at the top of America's most dangerous states. The most dangerous states share common roots: poverty, inequality, drug abuse, and social struggles. While each faces unique challenges, they also have communities working hard to rebuild safety and resilience. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Nation Peak. And let us know in the comments, what do you think is the biggest factor driving crime in America today?